Okay. Let's see if we're working. One last test. One last test. One last test.
All right, well, it's 6:30. Let's get started. All right, I definitely want you to chime in on the chat if there are problems with the audio. It's going to be pretty rough. By the way, hello again. This is Audio Guy. Some of you may be surprised to see me back for a variety of reasons, considering what a miserable job I did in my first stint here at COVID Kitchen. But you know, hold on, I've learned a couple lessons so far. One of them being shut off the banner. Alright, so hopefully everything's working. Sound, especially. See, I'm Audio Guy, so I care a lot about the sound. And, you know, I didn't really, the first time I came through, I basically was looking to use this as a quick buck. I got laid off like everybody else. I came to Chef, and he offered to hire me. And I didn't really, and because he was such a jerk, I didn't really do a very good job. And didn't really care. There were, no women here, so I didn't mind getting fired. So anyway, the upshot of it is, Chef will be out in a second. I just wanted to say hello again to everybody. Now, I decided to come back and actually do this a little more properly and to get him set up. And so hopefully the sound is okay. Now, if there are any problems, please say so in the chat. I'll be sticking around for this one. I know that there need to be some adjustments. We got the key piece of equipment about a few hours ago, and so there hasn't been a lot of time to really tweak it in yet correctly, but anyway, please just let me know. Anyway, the thing is, I woke up in the middle of the night with just this fever. I was drenched in sweat. I was hot. My fever was amazing. I mean, it was like nothing I'd ever had before. No. It wasn't COVID-19. Why would you think that? No, I was racked with guilt over having left the show in this way and left all of you high and dry in the way that I did. And I realized that the sound is going to be figured out 9 episodes too late. And hold on, there's a comment I got to go read real quick. There's a loud buzz. Okay. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how loud is the buzz? Where would it be coming from? It's coming from there. Let's see if that's the case. Other than that, though, I'm a highly competent audio engineer. So I'm surprised I got fired in advance of coronavirus. Plus, the other thing is I really wanted to rejoin this is like the hottest, most good-looking cast on all of television anywhere that you can ask for. I mean, it's just incredible. It's not just one of the cast members. It's all of them are like they're all so hot. There's usually a couple of people who aren't that hot anyway. So I really wanted to come back to that kind of ambiance and whatnot. So. I knocked on the door and I said, Chef, hey, I'll fix the problem. Just let me back in, please. And he was in the middle of an argument with a psychiatrist, which now I understand is a pretty regular thing. The two of them go at it like cats and dogs. You should see the two of them argue. It's terrible. So I think he likes having me around. It's kind of a easy to hang out with guy compared to psychiatrist, who's really difficult. They both steal liquor from each other. It's crazy. And the musical arguments. Oh. But That being said, their drinking sessions at night when they start, really getting going and they're in a good mood, they're wonderful. So there's that. Anyway, so we got it fixed. So I'm gonna bring, or I'll go get Chef, and I will check the feed real quick and see if I can fix whatever problem was getting discussed here. I thought I had sorted it out, but we'll see here in a second. All right, so I gotta ask, is it a 3 or a 9? So- Oh, yeah, okay, now I briefly turned up the TV to hear the sound. Yeah, I know, Mike, I know. That's part of the problem I was talking about. The fact that I got it to the point I got it is an improvement, but it still needs to be fixed. Hold on, let me see if there's one thing I can do to make it a little better than that. Hopefully this will be a little bit better. Give me a second here. Just one other thing. Alright, well. It'll be at least the sound won't be cutting out constantly and distorting and all that stuff. So I realize it's still like 80%, but it'll be better. That much I can promise you. Alright, let me go get Chef. Because he's very excited about tonight's episode. All right. Well, after that, hi everybody. Welcome to the COVID kitchen. Yeah, I let that bastard back, but what are you gonna do sometimes, right? Gotta forgive and forget, and just trying to make it right, even though it's not perfect. Yeah, I hear the buzz too. Well, just have another glass of wine and hopefully it'll become a charming ambient noise that you can enjoy. Because that's what we do here at the COVID Kitchen. Anyhow, at least hopefully we won't have the constant mega problems that we were having, and I can walk freely around the kitchen. I will say this, so I'm in vastly better spirits for a couple of reasons, but I had a wonderful experience on Sunday, speaking of freedom. No. God, I know what everybody, anytime you say that to somebody, they immediately, no, I didn't have sex. Come on, let's be serious here. No, it wasn't that at all. I think there's one thing that every American can agree upon, right? I mean, we can all come together on this one thing. It's that there is no foreseeable chance of me having sex anytime soon, right? So can we just all agree on that and bond together and have a nice happy moment? All right, so let's just move on from that. Move on from that nonsense. No, I had a wonderful experience my faith in my fellow man has been wounded, and it was partially restored on Sunday, and it was really nice. I'll tell you about it in person if I happen to run into you, but no, it was it was just a great day. So that's really got my spirits uplifted a little bit. The last episode going well, of course, that matters. We had very great feedback from all of you, and so I'm hoping to roll that into tonight being good, and we'll see what happens. The audio guy shows up again, at least gets something better for you than what we had before, so we'll see what happens. So here we are. We're surviving. We're maybe almost free, so this may be one of the last episodes in at least this first lockdown here before the future ones come along. We'll see what happens. But this is an important show tonight, and I have a lot of great things on tap for you that I've thought about to put into tonight's show. This will be a briefer show. I'm going to try to make this, it won't be within an hour, but maybe an hour and 15. I know that I wanted to try to condense it. But here at COVID Kitchen, we try to provide quality programming. That's what we're trying to offer you, quality, high-end programming. I mean, remember episodes like the Spice Islands, Your House, and remember seeing Yatrnica Pizza being made. Yeah, I don't really remember that either, but that's okay. You can relive them all because they're all on YouTube. And the content of the quality of the show doesn't just produce itself, It takes effort and resources, and it takes subscribers. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's episode is the annual 2020 COVID Kitchen subscription episode. This is our subscription drive for the year, and I'm glad you're here because we've got a wonderful lineup of entertainment planned for you tonight. Some great, we have a new cocktail, we've got some new food, and this is all going to be smashed into a short amount of time, so I'm really delighted that you joined us. If you're joining us live, that's even better, because for the subscription drive to work, hopefully, and I'll get into the details of the drive in a little bit here, but hopefully it'll be one person that actually sees the show. Oops, I gave away the goal already. Whatever. But for those of you who are watching later on, you can still subscribe later. That's great too. I'm more than happy to have you. All right. So, hang on one quick second. Yeah, no kidding. So, imagine yourself somehow without COVID Kitchen in your life. It's a sad world out there. Think of all the struggles, the difficulties you have. Maybe the time has come for you to take up your commitment to COVID Kitchen in life by becoming a subscriber. Or maybe you already are a subscriber, and that's fine. And you can basically support someone else's subscription. There are budget cuts and payroll cuts and things like that. How can we afford our Hamon de Virgo de Bellota? It just doesn't happen by itself. Now, I'll grant you that the subscriptions to COVID Kitchen cost $0, so this may seem like an odd request. And they will remain so throughout the course of the subscription drive, and forever, basically always. But we need you for your support here at COVID Kitchen, even though there's actually no benefit to it financially whatsoever, but theoretically, there's a subsidy. So, let me just show this so that you can understand what we're trying to do here tonight. And this will take me some time here, apparently. Oh, that's why. Still not technically very good. Our subscribing goal tonight is to get one extra subscriber. We have 35 right now, and that's wonderful. We're so happy for you, but we want an extra one. We're going to have a lot of stuff here tonight to entertain you. There's going to be live music. We've got a local artist who has prepared a song for you. We've got health tips that you haven't heard. Again, I mentioned the cooking and the new cocktail that we're going to have. We're going to have a little Thirsty and Walter, a lot of old friends, and a new one that you're going to see tonight here on COVID Kitchen. And this is what we're doing tonight for your, we appreciate that you're subscribers, and we want to bring in new ones. We've got a goal of 36 here. Let's see if we can meet that. All right. Are we together on this COVID Kitchen? Of course we are. So, some of you may be wondering why I'm walking around with an envelope in my hand. We may or may not answer that. I've asked this question of many other subscription drives, why the promoter has this, but we'll see what happens. One other thing I want to mention real quick before I get too far down the road. What may be the last episode of COVID Kitchen for Lockdown Phase 1 will be episode 11. And I want to use this to show you some of the benefits you get from subscription. And this is what you're going to get. Episode 11 is going to be a wonderful episode. It's basically going to be the Iron COVID Kitchen. That's right. You've heard of Iron Chef, and you've heard of COVID Kitchen, but you've never heard of Iron COVID Kitchen before. Well, we're going to do that here. We're going to have 4 contestants competing here remotely to basically take the concept and make it something that you can use in your coronavirus survival. Now, I need 4 volunteers. You're going to need to have a webcam and a Skype account, and of course, a spirit to compete and win the prize. So we'll talk more about this a little later. But the point is that that's going to be episode 11. I look forward to this. It's going to be really fun. All right. So for tonight, again, we're after one more subscriber. We want to get to 36. Understand that, we understand that not everybody can give the same amount in this difficult period. It's a trying time. So we have 2 levels of support here at COVID Kitchens. The one that most of you enjoy, which is our base level. You're basically a carbon dioxide member. And then there's the more advanced level. It requires a $10,000 donation. That's annually. And that's for dysprosium. It's a rare element that's used in nuclear cooling reactors, but you probably already knew that already. Anyway, so consider giving. Reach into your heart and think about whether you want to be a subscriber at either of these levels and what that means to the world. Now's your chance. Step up to the plate. All right. So I thought we would start here tonight. Oh, by the way, a special smile to our existing subscribers. Oh, and by the way, I realize there are other ways of giving, including this wonderful treat that somebody gave me. That's what I really needed. or spam. Thank you. But really, that's not necessary. We would be happy if you simply joined as a carbon dioxide level subscriber. That would be completely fine. Okay. So first, the first thing I wanted to introduce to you tonight is we're going to make a special cocktail here on the COVID Kitchen. And it's oriented around the fact that some of you may have bought a lot of canned food going into the whole lockdown thing, and now you're sitting there wondering, well, what am I going to do with all this canned food? For example, perhaps you bought a lot of beets. What are you going to do with all these beets? I mean, beets are nice and they're delicious, but, you know, frankly, you're going to get a little bored of eating all these beets. Ah, not so. I'm going to show you the end and how we finish this and pour this drink, and I'm also going to show you how we make it because it takes 24 hours to start it. But first, I'm going to start with the end because, you know, I'm a little thirsty. Here we have what you're going to consume at some point. This is basically, I don't know if you can see this well or not, but it's basically beets stewing in gin. Now these beets are roasted with some rosemary. And you can take basically canned beets, or ideally fresh beets, and create the same concoction. It's quite delicious. If you haven't done it before, you should try it. Importantly, you're going to need to strain it, because you don't really actually want solid chunks of beets in the cocktail. This goes nicely with some, I don't know, maybe tonic. Quite delicious. And, I might add, pretty nutritious as well. Fantastic. Boy, is that good. Try one, you'll like it. It's even better if it's made from fresh beets than from canned, but you can use up all those useless canned beets you've got in your Lazy Susan with gin and tonics. It adds a nice twist to it. Try it. So let me show you how to make this. All right, this is obviously the final product. I made that batch last night. I hadn't tried it yet, but it turned out quite well. So how would we make this from scratch? Well, no problem. Here's the other half of the can, just like the first half. We just want to basically spray our PAM down, okay? Hopefully you can still hear when I'm talking in the other direction. Let's see if that's the case. You can trust it. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm over here now. Makes for a much easier way to do a show, that's for sure. Now, one difference between the two is, if you're doing these fresh, as in you've just bought actually raw beets from the store, you're going to want to accommodate more time in the oven. If you're doing them from a can, you do it about half the time. So if you're doing them raw, you want to do it like 35 minutes, more or less. These you want to do 15 minutes, maybe. So we'll take those, we'll give them a little bit of light rosemary on top. It's just to augment the flavor a little bit, it doesn't really matter. It works much better with fresh rosemary. But we don't have that here because, you know, we're terrified of going into the coronavirus infected Safeway down the street, so we'll just use the sawdust that we have in our available spice rack. And so we're basically going to just cook that for a little while. I guess I'll cook it till about 7:10. And it's not rocket science. You don't have to get it perfect. You just want to create a little bit of caramelization in the beets. Again, if you're doing it from raw, you want to definitely give them a longer time. If they're coming out of the can, it doesn't take as long. If you're, one other difference with these versus the raw ones is if you're doing it raw, you probably want to let it cool down first before you actually create the concoction. With these, it doesn't matter. Theoretically, you could take them right out of the oven and pour it right in there. I'm not going to do that, but it doesn't matter because I don't have to handle them. You can basically, what's going to happen is we're just going to take those out, put them into the pitcher, pour some gin in, and let it sit for 24 hours. All there is to it. It's pretty easy. So, cheers. That's quite tasty. You should try it. All right. So, let's see what else we got. I mean, you know, it's tough here at the COVID Kitchen. We have all kinds of costs. Audio devices, $30 worth of audio equipment. I mean, I don't know how I'm ever going to pay that back. We've got P-Seeds. Those didn't cost anything. Oh, there's, of course, there's the CK SBIS, obviously. In case you don't know, that's the the COVID Kitchen seismic base isolation system that prevented me from even feeling the earthquake that we had a few days ago. So our safety features here at the COVID Kitchen are just off the charts. I don't know how I didn't feel it. It was at 4 in the morning. I was actually awake. I had just gotten up. I was walking around. Didn't feel a thing. Other people in Sacramento, they did feel it. I guess that's just a testament to the true masterful engineering design here of the structure at COVID Kitchen. Very reassuring to know that I truly am living in the fortress of safety. So please give, because, you know, even though it all seems like this happens on automatic, you know, it doesn't really. And think, if nothing else, there's two things we really were kind of hoping to get out of this subscription drive here, which is, think of Thirsty's education. I don't know if you can see Thirsty or not here, but it's, doesn't Thirsty need higher education? Of course he does. Look at him. Won't you please consider giving? He obviously needs the help. But if you don't think that Thirsty needs the help, maybe you're that cold-hearted, I don't know. And what about Walter? What about Walter? Look at it. Poor Walter. Walter. He can't even move. Oh, sure, he can when you put him on stable ground, but on carpet, he can't even move. Walter needs surgery. Please consider subscribing today. Don't do it for me. Don't even do it for Thirsty. Do it for Walter. All right, that's it. Look into your heart and see if this is the time that you're ready. So there you have it. That's what it's really about. And then, the other thing is, think of the millions of other robots stuck in China right now that need rescuing. They're just like Walter and Thirsty. They're just like Walter and Thirsty. Remember our levels of giving here. I'll turn it off for now, because I don't want to really get too obnoxious about it, but consider. Please, won't you? All right. So tonight's theme, food to be cooked. This is an exciting thing for me to make. And I hope that you enjoy it too. We're actually going to make something vegetarian. Oh yes, of course we're very meat loving around here. But, hang on, I might as well run Thirsty since I got the Thirsty microphone hooked up. Occasionally you may hear Thirsty get a little frisky, for example. But anyway, so tonight's episode, I'm going to be making for you a wonderful treat. It's something I enjoy making, and especially because I have so much wild rice on hand, because wild rice is the most, lockdown immune food known to man, as far as I'm concerned. You can basically store it forever. I mean, even though it is wild rice, you can use wild rice basically 10 to 15 years after you purchased it, and it's completely unaffected. I don't actually remember when I bought this particular batch of wild rice. Here, I'm going to get it for you. By the way, I'm not talking about real wild rice. I'm talking about wild rice. So this large packet of wild rice, you can basically leave, forever, and nothing will ever happen. So this is perfect, because now you're stuck with all this stuff, right? What am I going to do with it? Ha! Here at the COVID Kitchen, we got you covered. What's delicious? How about a patty melt, right? How about a wild rice patty melt? Yep, that's what we're going to make tonight. We're going to have wild rice patty melts. They're quite tasty. So don't worry, this will go quickly because I've already pre-made a lot of the ingredients, and we're simply going to have to basically bake the patty melt in the oven. Nice and easy. So, to do this is pretty much a piece of cake. I basically just have to make the patty. We have here some wild rice, and if you want to know how to make wild rice, it's very easy. Follow the directions on the box. If you can't follow the directions on the box, just order it from your local restaurant, and then don't cook food for yourself. One thing you can do with wild rice to make it much tastier without too much effort is you can use broth and or leftover stewing water. For example, water from wild rice goes very well with mushrooms. You can use dried mushrooms, soak them, and use that water, and that's what we've done here. So it's about half mushroom broth and half, I think I used pork broth to basically cook the rice, and instead of just straight water, it makes for a much nicer rice that way. Hang on, let me reorient the camera here.
Ooh, that might be a problem. How am I gonna do that? I thought it was one.
All right. By the way, tonight's wine is Blas Bois. Just kidding. It's La Tonnelle, 2016, from Haute Medoc. It's a blend of Cab Sauv, Merlot, and Petit Verdot. It's a Bordeaux. That being said, at the moment I'm still enjoying this cocktail. So to make this, it's not that complicated. To make these patties is easy. We're basically going to use a blend of, you can use Chex Mix, or I used Triscuit crackers. Smash them up into tiny little pieces. I put dried parsley on there. It's better to use fresh parsley, but you can do it that way too. And then there's all these, I used dried mushrooms. I already chopped them up. Rehydrated them, so I'm just gonna, see, here they are. All right. And then we needed a couple of eggs. We also have a spice blend with a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of red pepper, a little bit of cumin, and white pepper. And people ask sometimes, what's the difference between white pepper and black pepper? Well, black pepper is spicier, it's a little hotter. White pepper is a little earthier. And remember, we're eating wild rice, which is kind of an earthier thing to eat, so I lean towards white pepper in general, and get your heat elsewhere. How much of each to add? Not too little, not too much. Just like any spice. And stir that guy up. And then also, I'm going to add a little mayonnaise to this in a second here as well. How much mayonnaise? How about what's left? That's a very Public Kitchen amount. And then just mix that puppy up. And these are going to form your patties. So I'm just going to turn these into little patties that are going to become the equivalent of the hamburger of the patty. These are so delicious. All right. Now, in my opinion, I should probably add, no, I don't. All right. Boy, all these cables in the kitchen really add an additional wrinkle. And, plus Thirsty's running around all these cables. Anyway. So then I need to add the rice, of course, into the patty mixture. That's kind of the whole point of it. Oop. Looks like our beets are almost done. And I'm going to leave that on because 350 is a good temperature for this too. Here's our beets. They're perfect. I'll let them cool for a minute anyway because I'm busy. But you could theoretically throw them right into the gin. And, God, these microphones are really annoying. Now, this is just your typical American kitchen, laden with microphones. You can do this in your house too. Laden with microphones and robots. Thirsty. Mix all that up. We have a health tip coming up in a little bit from psychiatrist about what happens if you ingest coronavirus. And I don't know why I'm thinking about that right now as I'm stirring all this. I guess it's because I'm about to put my hands into this. So let me take some precautions, for this day and age before I mix up all this food, even though it really doesn't do anything whatsoever in any way, shape, or form to increase my chances of surviving the coronavirus. But, for form's sake, I'm going to wash my hands. I'll be right back. So now with your coronavirus-free hands, you can now mix these into patties. Just make them like hamburgers. Imagine you're making a hamburger for your backyard party, and if you're a vegetarian, this is the perfect vegan thing to make. And if you're not, it's delicious anyway. I love meat as much as anybody here. I think I don't need to prove that to anyone, considering I spent the last episode spam with jamon iberico de bellota, but you get the point. There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned wild rice patty that's going to turn into a patty melt. These are quite delicious. They're going to have a couple other wrinkles from under the patty melts as well, as you'll see in a second. Easy to make. Only a fool can't make these. Look at that. Look at how delicious that looks. And the beauty is you can freeze these puppies. So I'm not going to eat all 6 of these things, obviously. You can throw them in the freezer and pop them out later and good to go. All right. And theoretically, you could use like really actually decent wild rice instead of the stuff that I bought, but we're trying to use up survival. All right, there you go. Once I throw this in this oven, we're going to get back to the wild entertainment. of the subscription drive. So let me just get these guys in the oven, and then we've got some wonderful treats for you coming up in the near future here. So let me first set the timer. This, you typically put this in for about 30 minutes, right? It's not that hard. All right. Ready to rock. So now we got 30 minutes to kill. We've got our beets, but oh yeah, I guess I got to show you this. It's the final part of the cocktail presentation from 24 hours previously. So once you do this, you want to basically let this sit for 24 hours. But you're basically just going to put it into a container. I'm going to reuse my container that I've already got some of this in, because why not? Thirsty, not now. Get stuck at the wrong times. Come on, get in. All right, there you go. Generally speaking, you can use about a can of the canned beets per fifth of gin. So since I had split it in half, I did it that way. All right, so now you just want to keep this in a cool place of some kind. You can put it in the refrigerator. And then again, you saw the end result of that. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to be living in Fat City. All right, so oh, I gotta get the shallots going. This doesn't take too long. Now with a patty melt, you know, ordinarily you use onions, but of course, when I went to get ready for the show, I discovered that my onions had rotted, even though they were only 2 weeks old. Where did I put those things? Oh, there they are. So we're going to do shallots instead, because I got plenty of shallots. And if you're doing onions, you just spend more time, because onions are hardier, shallots are more delicate. So you don't need to do this as long. But basically, I'm just going to brown up some shallots for the topping on the patty melt. And then let's see, that's going. Before I begin the rest of the entertainment feast that you've got coming to you, I'll make sure I've got everything ready. Oh, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in this sponge. Just a little. If you're browning onions, I tend to find that a little bit of sugar helps. You don't really have to do this in reality. All right. Let's see. So we're basically ready. There. All right. Almost done. Let me just crank this puppy up, and we're going to get the wild fireworks started. Not really that wild. Except for this. But I'll go ahead and prime you for something. We're going to have some live music tonight here on the COVID Kitchen in just a minute. As soon as I get everything baking and running on its own, that's some live entertainment. Where else can you find something like that? I'm also going to be promoting a local budding music star. We'll see. All right, the butter is percolating away a little bit. Good. Now with shallots, this is one little tip with shallots. So if you're gonna use shallots instead of onions to brown, you want to do them at a lower temperature than if you're using onions, because shallots are way more delicate. In reality, this isn't my first choice, but that's okay, because shallots are way tastier as long as they're not destroyed. And so I'm gonna brown these guys at a lower temperature than ordinarily. So I'm gonna throw them in, I'm gonna put a little bit of water in, and then they'll just sit for half an hour or so while the patties are baking.
All right.
Let's get that fabulous high-end sound right in there. If I had gotten the audio gear one day earlier, it would have been helpful, but that's okay. It doesn't really make any difference anyway, does it? All right. Before I roll to that, let me just check something. Let's see, by the way, let's see if we got a subscriber yet. Let's go to the phones. Except, I can't really check it that way, can I? Funny to me that nobody knows. "36 subscribers. Wow. That means we hit our goal. I don't know who number 36 was. Whoever you are, you're a hero. All right. But that doesn't mean the rest of you can't subscribe still if you haven't. But, all right. Number 36, you're the best, whoever you are. Unless you're one of my many, many enemies. No, I'm just kidding. No. You know. All right. So, let's see. If I can, I gotta put the chat back. It's a little problem. Just a second. So I want to get the music on the road here for a second. Let's see. There it is. There's a huge bee buzzing around. Wow, it's that bad, huh? So soon I'll cover costs. Wants to know what you get for signing up. Well, you get special smiles. Thanks. There's more to come. I guess I was going to get into this a little bit later as we got more into the subscription part, but here's another thing you get. You get access to the entire Gold Classic collection of videos. And granted, you can, even if you don't subscribe. But you're eligible for all the prizes. For example, you can compete in Iron COVID Kitchen next week. Only subscribers are allowed. Maybe I should subscribe. I really want to get into that. Who else can get such an award, a coveted award, except a subscriber? My undying appreciation, and by the way, if I haven't said so lately, special smiles. Thanks, subscribers. So, these and many other benefits are awaiting you once you do that. How do you subscribe is a question I'm not entirely sure of. I may try to, I haven't actually subscribed myself. I don't really want any of the COVID Kitchen staff thinking that I'm following them, you know, or stalking them or anything like that. I mean, because they are very good looking, and I don't really want, it would be easy for them to make that kind of an accusation, so I don't want to do that. So I haven't actually subscribed myself, but theoretically you can subscribe, and then there's like a little notify thing that works somewhere. Let's see, who's the performer? Is your alter ego? No, of course not, Melissa. Well, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to introduce the performer here in a second, and then the other local star is not me, I can tell you that. Let's see, let me look at one other thing here. Okay. So, all right. There's another thing that subscribers get. God, I didn't even realize this. You get the subscriber guarantee that there'll be no nudity or sex anywhere on this show. I promise you that, subscribers. I promise you. What else can I offer? I don't know. I'll think of some other things. Oh, tax strategies. This show could be at the heart of your, for all the giving that you're doing. This could be an important part of your whole way that you work out with your financial advisor, how you're supporting things. Obviously, that matters. And then there's just the psychic satisfaction that you get of being a part of this, if this is a thing. So, anyway, now that those guys are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you Rockstar. He's our newest hire here at Cova Kitchen, and he's a little bit eccentric, but that's okay. And he's going to perform a song for you, and then if you don't completely hate him, then he might even do another one or two later. We'll see what happens. But hang on, let me go get Rockstar. Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Rockstar. I'm honored to be here at one of the hottest places on modern television. Great staff, great people. It's a wonderful environment here and everything. So I just am touched that you guys would allow me to come and perform for your subscription drive and everything like that. And I really hope you enjoy. I know that I'm going to perform a song that I haven't actually played in I don't even know how long it's been. I know I tried it a couple times within the last 10 years, but it's been a long time. It's a song called YYZ by Rush. And, I don't remember all of it. I haven't even heard the song in probably 25, 30 years, and it's very complicated, very complicated. And I know that I don't remember the whole song. Okay, let me just, that being said, this is here for your enjoyment, COVID Kitchen. I hope you enjoy YYZ, performed by somebody who's a little bit rusty on it, but that's okay, because it's one of those songs. And, hey. Oh, hold on. Utilize one of the performance microphones. It's a very, very crowd-friendly song, I know. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for letting me perform. I hope you enjoyed, and this inspires you to subscribe. Yeah, okay. Alright, thanks Rockstar. Appreciate it. Alright, subscribe to COVID Kitchen. Because quality entertainment like that, you can't just find that anywhere. We might have him come out for another song in a little bit. He said he prepared something else, I don't know. And I know a psychiatrist wanted him to play in some Tchaikovsky. But anyway. Alright. Thanks for that. So let's see. So where are we at with subscriptions? They're probably flying off the shelf now. Hold on. Let's see where we're at. By the way, our food is doing pretty good. Let me give that a little stir. Oh yeah. Oops. And yeah, I mean, so the food's doing pretty good. We got 13 more minutes on the patties. And we've got more. At some point I should probably bring a psychiatrist out. Apparently all of you really liked him from the last episode, and I don't know why. He's a disturbing individual if you ask me, but before we do that, let's think about something. A lot of you are probably asking, well, I'm not going to subscribe now, I don't want to do that. Why now? Oh, exactly. Why now? Why not now? Go ahead, our phones are waiting. Well, by our phones, I mean YouTube. Our phones are waiting. How do you subscribe? Well, I don't know. Somehow you go into YouTube and there's a subscription button and then there's like a notify thing, but I'm not really sure. But go ahead and try. Anyway. And one other thing I'm going to say is I just want to think of all the great moments you've had in COVID Kitchen, the cherished memories that you've got. Where were you at when you first realized that Thirsty wears duct tape? Or where were you when Chef fired the logistics manager? You remember where you were then? Think back on all those great drunken tirades, the angry rants, the poor audio quality that still sort of is here, and the surprises that changed your life, like the moment that you realized as a second robot rolled on screen that Thirsty had a brother. How did that change you? And think of how this is important. mean, it's just, look how far we've come, you and I together. So please consider a subscription to COVID Kitchen, or giving one away as an act of charity, if nothing else. You know, this is a time for you to rise up. All right. So everything's going pretty good on there. So why don't we go ahead and I'm going to bring Psychiatrist out. You know, I know a lot of you liked him. You know, I played this really awesome version of After Midnight for the guy the other day, and it's got like one of the greatest Moog solos ever. Very dubious distinction, if you ask me, but it's awesome. And you know, he actually claimed that Tchaikovsky probably composed After Midnight, which is a very strange assertion. But whatever. It's certainly not notable for its compositional mastery, and so that's why I don't really understand why he would have claimed that. However, I haven't fired him yet, in spite of him nipping away at my alcohol supply, and because I actually discovered that you know, he brought a whole train car full of mixers, so that's pretty good. That's why I can do things like spend tonic on beats. All right, so he's going to come out and give you a very important coronavirus-oriented health and safety moment. Just give me a minute to go get him. And take this with me, because I know he'll drink it if I leave it here. Psychiatrist here. COVID Kitchen. This place is about finished, as far as I can tell. I have been asked to come on and speak about health and safety tip. I am not a medical officer. Everybody knows this. I'm a psychiatrist, but chef, it doesn't make sense most of the time. We get into arguments all the time on so many subjects. I don't even want to say anything else. I will simply point out that I have to give this medical safety moment that he was very concerned for you to understand. Okay, so if you happen to have consumed coronavirus or suspect that you have consumed coronavirus in your food, you can try to take measure to not become sick with COVID-19. I don't have any idea if this works or not, but and he became convinced of this. Okay, fine, whatever. So there's this idea that you can take disinfectant and kill coronavirus. I don't know one way or the other, I don't know. But it is important that if you are going to consume disinfectant to kill coronavirus, that you do so in a safe way. And so on that I can help you little bit, and it doesn't require knowledge of actual medicine. I will briefly introduce you to something. Just let me get 3 products very quickly. I'll be right back. The first disinfectant we can safely consume to kill virus, to bacteria in general, any thing in your mouth, is this. It is toothpaste, and you probably are familiar. And anyway, you brush your teeth, and it will help keep down the organisms in your mouth. Here is another one. I don't personally use this very often, but you can. It's whatever. It kills organisms in your mouth, and you can be safe with it. I don't know that this kills coronavirus. It might, but I sort of doubt it. I don't really have any idea. Lastly, I'm going to demonstrate safe usage of a stronger disinfectant that many, I know Americans use, but maybe is not known. But is a thing that you can use and consume to kill probably coronavirus. I suspect that this actually does kill coronavirus. Whether or not this would really save your life, I strongly doubt. However, I will demonstrate this so that nobody does anything too stupid. Well, it's too late for that. But anyway, nobody does anything else too stupid on this front, for lack of a better way of putting it. So I'm going to demonstrate safe usage of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, because you can do this for normal oral hygiene, or perhaps to save your life from coronavirus, whatever. Ridiculous. Why he has to do this. God. So it's food safe hydrogen peroxide, yes, okay, and you put this in, put this in, they don't need very much, it's a little bit, and you basically swirl and coronavirus. See, I just killed the coronaviruses. Now you need to rinse your mouth out. Don't swallow. Disgusting. Remember, don't swallow spit. I'm sorry that you had to see this. And now my mouth tastes horrible. I know where Chef hides liquor. It's legal. Ridiculous. Oh. Now flavor of that disinfectant is gone. There are no problems, except I need to put some water into this little fish to make sure Chef doesn't know that I've been stealing. Put it back where I found it. Anyway, enough of this. I will go get Chef back. gone? God, I sure hope so. All right. Yeah. Oop. All right. Beautiful. I think we can leave both of those guys a couple minutes longer. 4 minutes longer, not much. They're almost done, and so is this episode. Anyway, hey, I don't think anybody needs to see any more of Rockstar, right? He was going to play some Mannheim Steamroller, but we don't need that. So, something about freaking psychiatrist. Let's see. Let me check the chat real quick. It says, all right. So, I just have a few minutes left with you here. Let's see, any last things? Oh yeah, a couple things I want to point out while this is finishing. Number one, we are going to use a topping on our patty melt. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I made like a little sauce, which is basically composed of the following. Chili pepper, powder, sawdust basically, basil, obviously it would be better if it was fresh, and then a little bit of white wine vinegar. But this is the key ingredient that, by the way, if you can, at least for those of you in California or in other garlic thriving parts of the country, I'm talking to you, Cleveland, and I'm not kidding, there's the ultimate garlic master is not far from my brother's house. If you can get some pickled garlic, that's the best thing for this. Let that stew for a little while, and then I'm just going to drizzle this on top of the patty melts, and they'll be delicious. Oh, there is one final important whole sequence I got to do here with this, but it's quick. Don't worry, I promise. It's the final broiling and the patty melting of the patty melt. So we're not done yet. Since we have a couple minutes, I should get back at that psychiatrist. I mean, I know the guy. I don't know how or where, but I'm sure he's stealing my liquor. But that's okay, because I know where his is. I'll get him back. Thieving, conniving psychiatrist. Why he thinks he can get away with this. But he can't. It's my house. I know every corner of this house. Take that, psychiatrist. Alright, so put this back before he finds out. He's probably gonna hear that alarm and know the food's coming. Alright. Our onions look delicious. I'm sure that our patties are gonna be ready, so I'm now gonna do the final touches on tonight's meal. 2 of them. Just in case I eat 2, I'm gonna make 2 pieces of toast. So here's one thing you gotta do. You gotta make some toast. Very hard. The other thing we have to do is we now have to prepare these guys. We're gonna broil them with a little bit of cheese on top. I made slices of pepper jack cheese. Put those under the broiler for a second, and I'm going to give you the rare COVID kitchen treat of a completed meal. All right, while I have these last couple minutes here, I want to remind you that we do have the ability to have the Iron COVID Kitchen episode on the next show. If you are interested in being one of the volunteers, I'm all ears. I would certainly hope that we could get ideally 4 groups of people, 4 people. I basically figured out how I want to score it and everything like that, but it's going to take a little bit of back and forth and a little bit of technical coordination, I realize. And I got to figure out the ground fault in the brand new audio gear that I know it's there too, but I did this obviously lightning quick because I had to work too, by the way, and I just got this equipment 5 hours before the show. Anyway, we'll get all that straightened out. Hopefully you've found this a lot better, at least that, you know, it's not shorting out and dying out. You can hopefully hear, even if it's got that obnoxious buzz. And Iron COVID Kitchen, of course, will hopefully be an excellent show. The other thing is for those of you, 2 last things I want to say. One, ideally, I know that my erratic scheduling of the show is not very good, and of course there may only be another episode or 2 left, who knows. But I've decided, because I hate pestering people with text messages, and I don't want to bother you guys really either. It's just I don't know how else to do this because Google doesn't provide alert systems for shows, and that's probably just as well. But I've decided that my solution to this is going to be on Sunday mornings by, say, noon or so. I will have placed a little thing on the COVID Kitchen site to say, hey, there's going to be an episode this week or there's not. All right, so the Iron COVID Kitchen is probably going to be off by at least a week and a half because it's going to involve coordination. So, but I don't want to bother you, so just go to the site and do it that way. And I know that most people watch the show later, not live. That being said, if you can watch the Iron COVID Kitchen live, you should, because there's this huge premium for you in that the way that episode is going to be graded and the contestants are going to be judged is going to partially depend on this completely ridiculous situation and system I've come up with that will involve you for grading something that you won't, of course, have a way of tasting. But that's okay. That doesn't stop us here at the COVID Kitchen. So if you can tune in live to that episode, it would be muy bueno, because that'll be part of the, hopefully, the humor that sometimes is lacking. So anyway, if you're able to, that's great. If not, more power to you. I hope you're doing something better than watching this show. But you know, episode, I don't know when it'll broadcast. So that'll be an evening. But I will post the announcements starting now on Sunday mornings. Hopefully, no later than for what the status of the next episode is. All right. So our toast just came out. I see smoke coming out. Oh man! Ow! Yeah. All part of the plan here on COVID Kitchen. Come on, smoke alarm. Any second now. Oh God! I'd say tune in next time at COVID Kitchen, but I can't quite do that. Ah, what a nuisance. It's made a lot easier by having microphones here, but that's the main thing. All right. No problem, no problem. All right, they're all saved. Beautiful. All right. Maybe a tiny bit too toasty, but that's okay. They'll be delicious. All right. So now for final plating, here we go. Ah, there it is. Well, see, now I have the sound system set up so you can all hear this. Oh, it's more than one. Bless it. You don't see that on every cooking show. All right, final plating. I put the plate before I turn off in the pan. That's okay. So, we're gonna have our toast. And where did I put that? There it is, all right. God, that smells good. Whew. All right. Beautiful. Ouch. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Next Apache.